Hi everyone, welcome back to the next diecast. In today's video, I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18 scale Maisto Mercedes Vision SLR concept. I bought this model off of eBay for just over $50 in total, including shipping and everything. Thought that was an excellent deal because this is actually quite the rare model from a Maisto now. The seller actually offered me half off on the price that they originally gave for this model, so I thought that was an awesome deal. And I decided to pull the trigger and actually buy it because at the time, I already had the Maisto Vision SLR roadster concept. These are both very special models from a Maisto. And in this video, I'll be kind of talking about the background of the real concept cars, the background of these two models, and reviewing the coupe model more specifically. And then in the next video, I'll be taking an in-depth look at the roadster concept model here. And I'll be kind of comparing the details of both of these models in that next video. So Maisto released these models in 1999, which is when the actual concept cars actually were shown off by Mercedes-Benz at various auto shows. The real concept cars were built to kind of pay homage to the 1954 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR coupe, the Uhlenhaut coupe to be more specific. I actually have a model of that car as well, also made by a Maisto. But as many of you know, the Vision SLR coupe and roadster concepts would eventually become the production Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren coupe and roadster in the early to mid 2000s. So the SLR McLaren coupe started production in 2003, and the McLaren roadster, I believe, started production in 2005 or 2006. But before those production models came the Vision SLR coupe and the roadster concept vehicle models. Now, Maisto did not produce the Vision coupe and roadster concept models to be sold along with their regular, released models. They produced the Vision coupe and roadster concept to be sold exclusively as promotional models for Mercedes-Benz. As you saw in my unboxing videos of these cars, they were kind of in this special kind of gray box with the Mercedes-Benz logo on the top and everything. These were either sold at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Germany or at Mercedes-Benz dealerships in Germany. I think they were sold at both. I'm not really too sure. Finding specific facts on production of these types of models is kind of hard to do. But I do know for a fact that Maisto did not release these as their traditional models in their traditional catalog. They were only made for a brief time as kind of promotional diecast models. Maisto did make a model of the production Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren coupe starting in 2004 when just after the real car came out. But these are pretty special models. Just the fact they were produced only for promotional purposes and that you really can't find them too easily. It seems like the coupe is easier to find than the roadster in terms of finding it on eBay and everything. And you can find these models for usually between $20 and up to $100 depending on the overall condition, if it has the original box and everything, if it has the original box and all the straps are still attached. It really kind of varies. But ultimately, it will be kind of hard to find these models compared to other Maisto models. But I think whatever price you pay, it would be well worth it, just because these are very special models. So we'll go ahead and get into the details of the diecast car here. We'll start up here with the front. Maisto, I think, did an excellent job of capturing the overall shape of the Vision coupe concept. You have the very kind of sculpted front end here, just the overall, body line and everything. I think Maisto really did an excellent job. And in the front here, you do have nicely cast headlights here. They have kind of a reflective quality to them. You have kind of the molded in bulbs and kind of a very tiny indicator light way up top there. There is kind of there is kind of a pronounced gap on the top of this headlight here, but it's pretty hard to see unless you look at it really close, like I'm doing right now. And in the center, you do actually have a separately cast Mercedes-Benz badge, which looks very well done in kind of this chrome plastic here. All these front grills are functional grills, which is very nice to see. They aren't just, solid pieces of plastic and whatnot. So I think that's a very cool touch. The overall paint quality on the model, I would say, is excellent. The silver really just works with this concept car. And of course, the real-life concept Vision coupe and roadsters were both done in this kind of bright, shiny, metallic silver finish. And the paint is nice and smooth throughout. Maisto really was doing great with their overall paint quality when they released these two models back in 1999, and they continue to do that today. There's no orange peel, no rough areas or, to speak of, which is great to see. Taking a look at the side, these wheels were unique to the Vision coupe concept, kind of these rounded 5-spoke wheels, and you do actually have branded tires. These are Dunlops, I believe. And you do, of course, have full steering, actually very good steering too. There's the wheel steering with these front wheels here, or the steering wheel steering the wheels, I guess I should say. And suspension, of course, because it is a Maisto model. But these rims were unique to the Vision concept coupe. Of course, the production version of the SLR McLaren had the roadster's wheels as an option. I don't think these particular rims actually made it to the production car. And you do have a nice kind of Mercedes-Benz badge in the center of the wheel too. And the disc brakes actually do move with the wheels as they spin, which is a very cool touch. You have kind of these nice side intakes on here with the SLR badge. Very nice touch. Nice sturdy side mirrors. They are made of plastic, but Maisto does a good job of kind of hiding that because the silver really matches up well with the silver you see on the metal portions of the car, which is great to see. Nice looking taillights. There are kind of obvious pegs in them, but that's not too big of a deal. You only see them from certain angles when you're looking at the car. Overall shape and everything looks great on the taillights. And you have kind of that nice red finish on the inside there too. And the covers are actually nice and flush with the metal body too. Unlike the one headlight up in the front, these are actually very flush, which is nice to see. And you have that Mercedes-Benz badge on the trunk lid here. Kind of hard to see because it's silver on silver. I assume it's supposed to be chrome, but Maisto kind of just stamped it on as a silver badge. Not a big deal, especially considering that the front badge is actually a true 3-dimensional badge. But from certain angles, it's kind of hard to see. But if you look at it in kind of darker light like this, you can see the badge fairly well. And you have the Vision license plate back here too. Down here, you have kind of this single light. It's like a long, maybe like reverse light or something that's actually separately cast on plastic piece. The real concept car has this. I'm not really sure if it's just meant to be like a reflector or if it's an actual light, but Maisto actually cast it as a separately, Maisto actually makes it as a separately cast plastic piece. And it's kind of hard to see because it's like a clear piece on a very kind of bright silver finished paint. So only if you look at it from certain angles do you actually see it. And you have kind of a nice lower intake or lower grills down here on the rear bumper. This is full die cast, by the way. The only plastic portion is this kind of small bumper back here. The whole front's made of, and you can feel it too. Like, this is a very heavy model. Same thing with the roadster version. So you can really tell that this is very good quality, especially for a Maisto model. Now with opening features on this model, of course, you do have the opening rear trunk, so we'll take a look inside of that. Not too much to really see in there. There is a very nice texture going on. You have kind of the silver, like brushed aluminum look, surrounded by kind of these like different like leather patterned portions on here. I'm not really sure what material the real trunk would have in it, but you have kind of a nice rough texture for these, at least as far as the model goes. But not too much to really see in there aside from that. Maisto does a good job of the two different textures you say, but not really too much to speak of. And again, this is a budget model, so you're not going to get carpeting or anything, but I think for a budget model trunk, Maisto did a overall great job. All right, so next we'll take a look at the engine detailing of the model. You have kind of this very large front end here. And these are actually functional vents on the hood. I forgot to mention that. Very nice touch. The holes are very small, but I like how they're kind of molded into the metal as opposed to kind of just tacked on, plastic pieces. I think that's a very cool touch. So the engine detailing, we'll take a look at that next. The engine detailing, I would say, is pretty well done for the most part. You have all different textures going on in here, all different colors. It just looks great. There's even some wiring and pulleys kind of visible down in this area here. You have the Mercedes-Benz inscription on either side of the main block, along with that 3-pointed star badge. And you have kind of that red portion back here. Several different kind of 3-dimensional plastic components, which is always a cool touch. And you have this SLR inscription on this portion here too. And I think this would be like where the radiator should be. You can actually see the grills kind of shining through there. But so I think this is an overall an accurate looking engine for a budget model. There is some components that are probably like missing and everything, but I think for an older Maisto model, as far as the engine detailing goes, they did a great job. And this engine is pretty much identical on the roadster version, as you'll see in my next video when I show that off. But This hood will eventually, I think, weaken over time because it's so large and heavy, so I try not to open up the hood all that much. I kind of wish they gave like a prop rod in here to kind of hold up the hood, but they don't do that, unfortunately. Not a big deal. I think overall the engine is well detailed for a Maisto model or for a budget model in general. Next, we'll take a look at the interior of the model. Of course, the SLR was known for its iconic opening doors. To open up the doors, you just kind of pull it from the side like this, and they kind of rise up with your hand like that. Very, very cool. Always love the doors on the McLaren and on the SLR Vision concept cars. It just looks so cool when you have it up on the shelf like this, you know, the doors up, even like from like the back and everything too. Just a very cool touch. They open up on a single dogleg hinge, so just don't open these way too much because then the hinges might weaken over time. I keep them closed for the most part. I'm only opening them, of course, to show it off in the video here. But overall, the detailing on the interior, I would say, is very well done for a Maisto model. We'll take a look first at the door panels. A nice thing about these rising doors is that it's very easy to see the door panels like so. Nice texture and coloring going on here. You have kind of a nice sort of leather pattern for this beige area. And you have kind of a nice, more smooth pattern for the silver portions. As on the real concept, these were made of brushed aluminum, which was a very kind of nice touch. And you have kind of this like speaker or a vent detailing back there too. Overall, well done, I would say. And you have, I'm not sure if these are speakers or vents down here, but they have kind of a nice like mesh pattern on them, which is cool to us seeing. Maisto does an excellent job with the look and shape of the seats. The seats would kind of have the same overall shape in the production version of the car, but the concept had this kind of unique sort of saddle finish to the seats bordered in silver. Very nice shape and overall texture to these seats. They have kind of a nice like leather pattern on them, almost as if they were the real seats, which is very cool to see. Even have separately cast on seat belts going on there too, which is a very cool touch. And then in the back, you actually have the SLR inscription and kind of these two storage bags that the real car would have had. Looks like you can actually take these bags out, which is a very cool touch. And of course, all the silver you see in the interior is kind of a smooth, shiny finish to sort of simulate brushed aluminum. Of course, it isn't actually made of brushed aluminum as far as the model goes, but on the concept, you would, of course, see that as a material. And you have the SLR on this door sill down here too, which is a very cool touch. They're done in stickers, but at least they're applied nicely. You know, they're not crooked or anything. The rest of the interior, very well done. Not a whole lot to see on the dashboard. I think Mercedes kind of kept it nice and simplistic as far as the concept went. We have various gauges and buttons on the center stack there. They are kind of separately emphasized. They're not separate pieces, of course, but you have kind of, you know, nice texturing on them and everything. And then, of course, you have the nice leather pattern going on the dashboard here, too. And there's some unique texturing right there where my finger just was. Not really sure what that's made of, but you do see it on the real concept car. Even on the floors, too. Maisto just didn't do it as like a, you know, like a flat black or like a flat beige floor. They even included the different contours and the different colors and textures you see in there. They don't usually pay that much attention to like minor details like that, but in this model they did, which is very cool to see. But as far as the four sections in the center stack go, they are all accurately done, and the overall texture and shape of the dashboard just looks fantastic. And of course, on this side, you have the nicely cast steering wheel with the Mercedes-Benz badge in the center here, just kind of turning with the front wheels. And you have this cool looking gauge cluster too, which has separately cast gauges, which is very cool to see, kind of bordered in that sort of chrome. And you have these very cool looking pedals down here too. They look like they're made of, you know, like actual metal, which is incredible. Kind of done in this sort of nice shiny chrome, as you would see on the real concept car. But yet, not a whole lot to see on this interior, but that's how the actual like Vision concept was, and that wasn't like a big deal because it was just a beautiful car. And I think, you know, less is more in terms of, you know, concept cars like this. If you're kind of paying homage to a car from, you know, years past, kind of keeping it less is more, you know, so it's sort of a timeless, you know, look to the interior and the outside of the car too. I think Maisto did an excellent job with modeling the interior of this concept car, and you'll see that they do the same thing with the roadster version too. Just an overall great job. So the doors kind of close up like this. They kind of click into place too. All right, we'll take a look at the undercarriage of the model next. So with the undercarriage, there isn't a whole lot to see down here. It's kind of the usual, you know, Maisto fashion where you have kind of the chrome exhaust system with some engine detailing visible on the front portion here, which is kind of cool to see. But aside from that, not really too much to speak of down here in that sense. But I think that they do an overall decent job for a Maisto model in that sense. So again, a very special model from Maisto of a special concept car. And in the next video, you can look forward to a sort of comparison review of both the coupe and the roadster version that you see back here, and a more in-depth look at the roadster version and in some details and everything. I'm very happy to have both of these models, and I am looking forward to doing the video on the roadster next and kind of comparing the overall details of both of the models side by side. So if you can find the coupe, of course, because I was focusing on the coupe for, you know, this video for a good price, I would say absolutely get it. This is definitely, both these are definitely significant models in terms of Maisto's history of making like 1/18 scale cars and everything. And of course, Maisto is excellent with their Mercedes-Benz models, and these are certainly no exception in terms of overall quality and details and everything. As always, feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on the model here, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.